How did India sort of turn it around? Because as I was telling you, Rohit Sharma's gone. He gives you that great intent. Let's bring up that scorecard again. He gives you that intent, but then you had Kohli. And Kohli this time sort of was a bit of an aggressor, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he took the bowling on, and Shubman Gill started to score those runs. And once they get their eye in, it's...
Yeah, they still received some loose ones as well. Even though some of them weren't loose, they were still hitting nicely. So it's the
gift balls, you call them?
Not really. It's the quality of the batsmanship, I think. You know, that's the difference between the two teams and the confidence levels. So, you know, when you're in that mood and you've got some really good players and then you get a partnership.
Big partnership, 180 odd?
It was...
180 something?
Yeah, it was always promising to be, you know, very high. I thought at one stage...
And you were mentioning this on our TV show, that they were consistent. Once they sort of started scoring, both Kohli and Shreyas and Shubman Gill were going run a ball. And in fact, I think the only time Kohli slowed down was when he got into the 80s, which I felt was perhaps he changed his approach, and that cost him the wicket because he was dominating till then.
Yeah,
they were sort of being defensive.
The three figures were was like in front of his eyes.
In front of our eyes as well. We almost got ready.
Yeah.
In fact, I did get ready.
Yeah. But as we said, that the innings progression, it was never under 6 and over. So it started with 60 and it finished up with 90 something. So it was just the total was just beyond Sri Lanka, regardless of conditions. I don't think they would have got that.
Okay, we've got the wagon wheels of the Indian batters. You know, let's bring up Virat Kohli first because we spoke at how he was going at close to a run a ball. But when we bring up the wagon wheel, we'll perhaps ask Dav to take a look at it and tell us if there's something that he spotted. Because I remember the last couple of times he's got his wagon wheel, there were the first game, lots of runs on the leg side. And then the next game, I think it was the New Zealand game where he had runs all over the wicket this time. It wasn't just predominantly on the leg.
This is Kohli,
And this time again, Kohli, and lots of shots in the covers where he actually got out, right, driving. Drove well.
Yeah, well, most of it's in front of the wicket too, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So that's also a little indication that it wasn't really coming on. It wasn't that much pace, although Chamira has a bit of pace. Madhushankar, who bowled really well, is more of a swing bowler, but he had a lot of success with his change-up, with his slower balls and cutters.
Which is where they got out somewhere here.
Yes, but, you know, that just, to me, shows everybody that he's capable of playing through the offside on the front foot. You know, opens that bottom hand and the full face of the bat is presented to the ball. And if your timing's right, if your footwork's good, it's based on good footwork. You time it correctly, it'll go. There was a couple of those drives. It just almost like it was just a push. Blimey, it went really quickly along the ground to the boundary. So, you know, that's the quality of the guy. I mean, what else can you say that hasn't already been said? You know, he's
okay. Then let's not talk about him.
Master.
We know what he does. He's a master. Let's talk about Shubman Gill, and then we'll talk about Shreyas Iyer, because you know what I found interesting? You look at the scores, which are the 340, 350 scores in this tournament, you've got at least 2 batters getting 100. Or at least one gets a big 100, the other one sort of gets 90 odd. Let's go back to the Sri Lanka game, South Africa. I think Quinton de Kock got 100, Rassie got 100, Markram got 100. You go back to Pakistan versus Australia, Warner and Marsh got 100. But here you've got India. There's a Pakistan chase against Sri Lanka. Shafiq got 100, Rizwan got 100. This game, 350, 360 almost. No hundreds. 80, 80, 80, 90.
I don't care, as long as you get the total.
But does that also tell you, that's scary, isn't it? That's scary from an Indian perspective. That, okay, you don't need the big hundreds to get to the 350.
No, that's right. I mean, if you don't get the big hundreds, then you always got a new batsman coming in at some point. And you're hoping, like, oh, that person gets a start, which they did today. But ideally, you don't want to leave it to that. You want, you know, somebody to get a big 100. And if the odd incoming batsman after that happens to miss out, then it's okay because you've got a really big 100 by one of your players. if that doesn't happen, then it should happen the way it worked out today for India. So that was very, very good.
How impressive was it? Let's get up Shubman Gill's numbers because we
want
didn't talk about Shubman Gill. Yeah,
very, very confident at the moment. What I saw,
and we starting to perhaps get to his best form. He had that issue at the start, and then he fell ill, didn't he?
Yeah, he had
missed the Pakistan game.
Fever,
He came to the Pakistan game, but now you sort of get a feeling that he's there. He's fully fit now.
Just two shots that to me represented full confidence, and that was against Chamira.
One was a pull.
Front foot. It was
pull,
just here. You know, the pull shot. Remember, I was talking. It's a swing around there, and a couple of those was played like that, but twice against pace, he just stood there and hit it in front. Now, to execute that shot correctly, it requires a lot of confidence and a bit of trust too on the bounce. And two of those shots, to me, I thought, bloody hell, this guy is seeing it really early and he's seeing it like a balloon. So it's no surprise that he's going to bat with a high strike rate, and 100% is not a bad effort when you're batting in a one-day game.
Okay, and
an opener.
Yes, and there was never any chance of him getting dropped. But the talk was, like we spoke about Shami and Siraj, Siraj looking over the shoulder. Shreyas Iyer had a bit of some question marks. Because I felt that whenever there was some question marks, he would chip in with a useful score. You know, he got a 50 odd against Afghanistan and got some runs in another chase as well, saw it through till the end. I think the Pakistan game he got some runs as well. But then he's dropped off, played some loose shots, and everyone's saying, oh, if it's Shreyas Iyer, bounce him and see how he does. But the important thing here was, this is where you expected India to accelerate, and he didn't do it with the Klaasen out-muscling way or the Glenn Maxwell out-muscling way. He played a bit like Markram in that Delhi game against Sri Lanka.
But just to go back a couple of minutes, to me, he was never going to get dropped, really. He's your number 4. I know that...
And they've backed him consistently.
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure that Dravid and the selectors need some continuity at number 4. They can't be stopping and changing at that position. And in my opinion, he was always going to be there. But he's really, before you know it, he's got runs. And he doesn't do it, as you said, in a way that you think, bloody, he's whacked it. It's like lazy elegance.
What hurts you more, Klaasen destroying a bowler or Maxwell destroying a bowler, or this, which is actually a death by 1,000 cuts, if I could use that, that terminology? You're allowed to say that, right? Death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
That's what Kohli does as well, right? You suddenly don't realize he's knocking it. Oh, hang on, he's 50
again,
50.
he's different again, Kohli. But Klaasen, I think, is the more destructive. Very hard to stop him.
No, but as a bowler...
Maxwell, I think, will give you a chance. He's absolutely destructive, but he's potentially going to give you a chance at any ball, But, gee, he hits it as well. Shreyas Iyer, a little bit more controlled, but plays good cricketing shots, And now...
So does the bowler fear him more or Klaasen more?
No, Klaasen. But as I said, the battle I had up there was looking at him playing the pull shot. And he actually played it pretty well today. He didn't look in any danger of getting out, and they tried it on him a couple of times, and he was equal to it. So all that practice that he put in, I was reading about in the nets, and in the centre of the ground, paid off, and a bit unlucky not to get 100 actually.